Let's hear it for the Peoria High School Drumline. I would love to have a drum line just kind of follow me around. Every time I enter a room, they come in first to announce my arrival. Every time I leave, they march the crowd out. Wouldn't it be great to have a drum line in your life every day? Thank you to their director, Maura Shepard, and to the students themselves. My name is Brian Fox Ellis. I'm here to celebrate clean water, and so are you. You know, you are mostly water. If I had 4 really big buckets and I could take you apart, you would be 3 buckets. 3 buckets of water. Speaking of buckets, these are students from Hollis, and they are the Zero Waste team. You're probably going to lunch as soon as you're done. Can you recycle everything? The food waste could be compost. Who's got a compost bucket? So any banana peels or apple cores. The plastics, the paper, each go in their own recycling, and hopefully you have 0 waste, no garbage. Actually, that's a decision you make when you shop and when you pack your lunch. Let's hear it for the Hollis students and the Zero Waste team. As I was saying, you are 4 buckets. If you had 4 buckets, you are 3 buckets water. To 1 bucket is skin and bones and fingernails and hair. You are 1 bucket of solid and 3 buckets of water. Clean water is something we should all care about. That glass of water or orange juice or whatever you had this morning, coffee for me, has been around the world and back again. It takes about 100 years for a drop of water to circle the globe. So whatever liquid you've imbibed was literally inside Abraham Lincoln and Harriet Tubman, maybe not both at the same time, 150, 200 years ago. The same water keeps cycling. And if you love water and you care for water, then you will rise up and do the work that needs to be done. Like this next gentleman. He is a local hero in my mind. We've had speakers from all over the world grace this stage. Dr. Sylvia Earle has been to the bottoms of the deepest trench in the ocean. We've had astronauts who've been on the moon. But this gentleman runs a local company that is changing the world. They have top manufacturers coming to Peoria to purchase natural fiber welding. Plastic-free before the end of 23. Strive for it. And Aaron Amstutz will help us get there. Let's welcome Aaron Amstutz from Natural Fiber Welding.
All right, good morning, y'all. We are here for the Clean Water Celebration event. I know you know that because you're here. It's not the Dirty Water Denouncement event, although those are 2 sides of the same coin. When we think of clean water, the opposite is dirty water. And when we love something, it means we hate or despise something that ruins it. That is when you truly and appropriately love something, you protect it. And that's really the theme of my talk today. Mostly middle schoolers here. How many of you have cell phones or some personal device? Okay, most of you all. And that's good. Put your hands down. Now, I want you to imagine someone grabbing that out of your hand. Maybe while you're in the middle of texting. A little bit of anxiety, a little bit of anger, a little bit of upsettedness, right? Some of you are tensing up. Some of you are imagining who might grab it from you. Someone you don't like. Some of you are imagining someone who might look at what you were just writing and get upset about that. If you're worried about what you were writing and then someone else is seeing that, that means you're worried about someone getting at your private speech. If you're upset about them actually just grabbing the device, you're upset about them taking your thing, your possession. The measure of how much we love something is really measured by how much we will do to protect it. So again, imagine for a moment that someone just stole your cell phone, grabbed it out of your hand while you're texting. If they threw it down at your feet, I want to see a raise of hands, how many would bend down to just pick it up off the ground? Okay, I mean, most of you would take the effort to bend down and take it off the ground. Okay, now, put your hands down. What if they grabbed it out of your hand, ran down the hallway, and threw it in a locker? You can tell which one. How many of you would run down the hallway, search through the lockers to find it in one of those lockers? Okay, so most of you would go to the effort of running down the hallway and doing that. Okay, now, what if they ran down the hallway and threw it in a trash can at the end of the cafeteria? How many would go garbage picking for your cell phone? What if it was right after lunch? And they hadn't emptied it yet. Okay, so you at least do garbage picking for your cell phone. Okay, what if they ran down the hallway, ran out the door of the school, and threw it up on the roof? And you had to go find someone to get a ladder and climb up the ladder. Would you still do that for your cell phone? Okay, most of you. Okay, what if, one more time, what if they ran to the hall, ran to the school, hopped in a car, tried to get a getaway? Would you take down the license plate number and call the police? Okay, so most of you love your cell phone because you would do a lot of things to get it back. The measure of how much you will do. Oh, my slides are not up there. Okay. The measure of how much you do is a measure of how much you love it. You protect what you love. Here's my point. We live in Peoria, along the Illinois River. There's the Illinois River. Beautiful, beautiful view along the river there. We're gathered in this room to celebrate the Clean Water Celebration event. Renew the Planet is this year's theme. The value that we put on clean water and our shared planet is inevitably tied to how much we love it, and the more we love it, the more we'll protect it. Now, one of the great ironies of water is that because it's so abundant, it's hard for us to imagine that it's worth protecting all that much. All right. This is a 55-gallon drum. This is about how much water you will use in your house per person per day. And you can see the various ways that we use it on that slide. About 15 gallons in a washing machine, 11.5 in a shower, 18 in toilets, 11 in a faucet, and 1 gallon for a dishwasher. Now, when we talk about this much water that we use, do we actually use it? Do we actually consume those water molecules? No, right? We borrow them. You all know that, right? We don't actually decompose water. We just use it, and then it flows away. We'll talk about where it goes. And it gets reused in the water cycle. Now, most of you, by this time in your schooling, will have learned about the water cycle, right? We have rains that fall. It goes in the rivers. Rivers go to the oceans, and the oceans evaporates, go to the clouds, and rain, and it's the water cycle. Now, the water that's in our house is actually kind of a subset of that water cycle. In fact, if you're from Peoria, the water in your house may actually come from a river. About some of the houses in Peoria are fed from the Illinois River. Some of them comes from underground aquifers. In Peoria, it's the San Cody Aquifer. And then when we're done with it, when it goes through our house like this, it's going to end up back in the Illinois River. It goes through the Greater Peoria Sanitary District and discharges into the river through a treatment facility. So when something like water is never owned, and so ubiquitous or common, it may be difficult to understand why we should value it so highly. After all, in the cell phone analogy, the reason you're going to protect it is because it's yours. You own it. It's a device that you can put on your person. But the water, we just borrow that. So why should we protect it? Why should we be motivated to love it? I'm going to introduce two concepts. One is the nature of water itself. Did you notice all of these things, all 55 gallons that you use? These are all cleaning applications. The very nature of water is that it's a great cleanser. We just talked about all the ways it's used to clean. And if you go through historical literature, poetry, rituals, and our common understanding, that's the nature of water. There are songs written about it. Cleansing rain, purifying rivers, washing streams, healing springs, soothing baths. It's a common heritage to all humans. It's bred into our psyche. We all know that you can only get as clean as the water is. So if I go back to the Illinois River slide, I don't know, has anyone actually been in the Illinois River? Is it clean water? Okay, it's cleaner than mud. And I've been on a river cleanup event and got mud all over me, and then I hopped in the river to get the mud off. So it's cleaner than the mud, but you can only get as clean as the water is. So would you want this flowing through your pipes in your house to the shower? No, you wouldn't. You want cleaner water for that. You can only get as clean as the water is. And so the very nature of water being a cleanser means we want to protect it from getting polluted, from getting dirty. If you were walking through one of our local parks, Forest Park Nature Center, and you saw a nice bubbling brook and someone pouring used engine oil in it, you would be upset, and rightly so. You'd be angry because they're taking something that is beautiful and clean and changing the nature of it by making it polluted and dirty. The nature of water, in our mind, is that it should be a clean, cleansing thing. The other concept is that of natural beauty. Now, a few years ago, I was with my wife at Fort Myers Beach in Florida, and I took this photo of a sunset. It really couldn't have been any more beautiful than that. Something beautiful and mystical about watching the sun come down. You see the colors change from bright yellows and oranges to reds to purples, and then as the sun falls down the horizon, back to grays and yellows. Beautiful, and we had the water lapping up against the shore, wind in our face, seagulls, absolutely beautiful. Now contrast that with basically the same scene, but with litter, with trash. We just know that we wouldn't want to walk that beach. We wouldn't want to swim in that ocean. Why? It's because of the beauty has been degraded by trash. When I was growing up, my family and I often went to northern Wisconsin and we water skied. And although the water wasn't pristinely clean, it was not filled with debris. It was beautiful in its own way. And if anyone's been snow skiing, you know what it's like to come down a hill with bright, white, fresh, powdery snow that hasn't seen anyone else's skis yet. There's something just wonderfully beautiful about clean water, about clean landscapes. And we have many here in the Peoria area. I'll remark on them here in just a moment. The beauty of those creates shared resources and shared experiences which could all be significantly diminished by pollution. Now, they invited me very nicely to come speak to you today, and I'm sure they're expecting me to give like a so what slide. So what do I do? What do we change? And I'm not going to disappoint those who invited me. So this is my point. We protect what we love. That's pretty clear. It's a pretty easy concept to grasp. Now, the challenge for us, I believe, is that we have to refine what we love. Many of you have not walked Forest Park Nature Center. You haven't walked along the Illinois River. You haven't refined your love for natural beauty. And you're going to need to do that because I don't think I can actually convince you to love clean water until you love natural beauty. Some of you don't clean your room. Some of you need to learn to love clean, too. So the key to protecting what we love is to refine our loves, which means that you need to cultivate a love for clean, a love for beauty, a love for order, I can't produce that in you. You have to cultivate that for yourself. And when you do, then it's not a whole list of do's and don'ts. You'll protect clean water because you just understand this is worth protecting. You won't be the type of person to throw litter on the ground that's going to get washed down the sanitary drain. You're not going to be the type of person that puts engine oil at the end of your driveway to get captured in rainwater. When you cultivate a love of clean, a love of beauty, a love of order, you will naturally protect it. So the question for you is, if you cultivate that love of order, love of beauty, love of clean, how far would you go to protect it? A few minutes ago, I asked you about cell phones, and many of you would go to great lengths to get your cell phone back. How far would you go to clean water, to renew our planet? Would you be willing to change your purchasing behavior, your behaviors, your habits? Would you spend more on a material that's sustainable over one that's not sustainable? Would you take time to bring a reusable shopping bag to the store? Would you put a candy wrapper in your pocket instead of throwing it away on the sidewalk? How much are you willing to learn and study about your impact on the environment? You know, doing the right thing is almost always more work than doing the easy thing. That includes both our actions and our decision making. Are you the type of person that will rise up to do hard things? That will rise up to do right things? That will rise up to do good things? If so, then you need to also be the type of person to study what those right things and those good things are. And finally, are you willing to devote yourself and possibly your future career to work that helps the planet, to make a positive impact for the world? If we are to renew the planet, to be good stewards of it, that means that you have to study and you have to devote time and energy to it. Now, some believe that the planet would be better if we humans weren't here. I actually disagree. I think we are called to be stewards of it. There's a natural synergy between animal life and plant life, and I believe there's a natural synergy between what we can offer the planet and what it needs. The planet will be able to thrive, and people will thrive when we work in harmony. And just as fruit trees are more productive when they are pruned through wise human action, the planet will thrive when helped to be shaped by good human action. We need to tend this planet like a well-watered farm or garden. And I'll close with this. It's easy to think of wanting to do big things and hard things and things way off in the future, but we're all going to be hypocrites if we don't do the easy things that are right around us. So I'll challenge you when you leave here. Will you be the type of person, when you walk along sidewalk, walk along your street, to bend down, pick up litter, and avoid littering yourself? That shows that you really care about clean, and it shows what you love. Thanks for your time.
I love this. Let's hear it again for Aaron.
You know, you actually can live without your cell phone. You could. But you can't live without water because you are mostly water. Next, we're celebrating clean water, and we're celebrating the people who are making a difference. We call it the Making Waves Awards. Karen Zuckerman is the reason all of us are here today. She's the head of the Clean Water Navigating Committee and the rock upon which the rest of us rely. Karen organizes this entire event, from communications to teachers, sponsors, and exhibitors, to matching schools and classes with our breakout presentations, to mapping out booths in the exhibit hall. We would all be lost without her. Karen is also a graduate of Bradley University and spent her entire 45-year career at Hollis Grade School, teaching science, reading, engineering, and art. A member of the Sun Foundation board, she lives by her beliefs, promoting environmental conservation and education. Let's give a big thank you to Karen Zuckerman. Luke Haverhals, PhD, is the CEO and founder of Natural Fiber Welding. Luke's professional mission is to collaborate with and empower material scientists, manufacturing workers, and engineers, investors, change makers, creators, and brands around the world to create a truly circular and sustainable material economy from the ground up. Luke earned his PhD in chemistry at the University of Iowa before going on to explore all natural alternatives to petroleum-derived plastics as an assistant research professor at the U.S. Naval Academy. His vision to develop bio-neutral, high-performance materials from renewable natural nutrient inputs has become the foundation for NFW's ecosystem of patented, paradigm-shifting material technologies. In an industry awash with incremental solutions, Luke is leading NFW to drive a moonshot systems level shift away from petroleum-derived products and toxic chemistries. Luke is an Unreasonable Group Fellow, Forbes Council member, and World Economic Forum technology pioneer. His work will help us all to become plastic-free. Elizabeth Reed manages ISU's sustainability. The Office of Sustainability is making changes on campus to incorporate sustainability into the students' lives. They have 3 locations for students and faculty to drop off their food scraps and compostable materials to be turned into compost through Better Earth logistics. They organize a pumpkin drive in the fall to stop more organic waste from going into the landfill. Their Fix It Friday program saves clothes from the landfill and helps students keep their clothes longer. They also have a share shop where students can shop for free. And if you only need an outfit once for a special occasion, you can use it, then return it for someone else to use. Thank you, Elizabeth Reed. Preston Jackson lives art as a way to communicate for the environment. Preston Jackson is one of America's most respected artists and the quintessential artist of our time. He has been living and working in the Peoria area for decades. Preston is an internationally celebrated sculptor, painter, teacher, and guitarist, a master of every medium he touches. Preston has focused his art on social and environmental issues. His life-sized whale sculpture was built with welded stainless steel tubing. He named the whale Shirley Armstrong after a famous person of courage. The whale sculpture is filled with plastic bottles. Ocean-beached whales have been found with plastic in their stomachs. The sculpture has traveled far and near to bring the urgent message of the plastic plight on the life and health of the oceans and on the life of the largest water mammal on Earth, the whale. Preston's epic paintings of the magnificent endangered wolf, the coyote, the elephants, call for us to protect their lives and habitats. Preston has contributed art and his teaching for the Clean Water Celebration and Arts and Science in the Woods. Preston has mentored and inspired students and other artists to give voice through their art for environmental change. Thank you, Preston Jackson. Bradley Dining is creating sustainability through community collaborations. Bradley Dining Services, a division of Aramark, work together to continually develop and implement sustainable solutions. Through Green Thread, their environmental sustainability platform, they bring innovative and efficient solutions to life. We are passionately focused on reducing the environmental impact within our operations. Here are just a few ways they work to make the campus more environmentally conscious. Reducing the use of small plasticware with our Skip the Straw campaign. Recycling fryer oil. Promoting sustainability with a Meals to Go program in the residential dining halls. And they plan for special events during Earth Day and Earth Week with the Zero Waste event, like us today being zero waste. You can learn a lot more at their website. Sous Chef Peoria is a specialty grocery store that features local farmers and vendors from the greater Peoria area. With a circularity perspective, nothing goes to waste here. The Sous Chef team also has an on-site kitchen preparing imaginative, healthy and delicious meals to grab and go, utilizing the grains, proteins, and produce they carry. Nothing is wasted, and many of their to-go selections are packaged in compostable containers. Sous Chef also hosts the community composting kiosk for Better Earth Logistics in Peoria. We are grateful for Sous Chef and all they do for the environment. Karen Cotton is Vice President of Communications and Public Relations at Corix Group of Companies. Karen is one of the people that is most integral to the Clean Water Celebration. She has been in the water industry for the past 16 years as a senior level public relations and strategic communications professional. Her efforts have resulted in funding and grants that have made the Clean Water Celebration possible over the years, and we are all extremely grateful. Karen says that reaching our young people is incredibly important because they are the ones who help change the world, who help protect the environment. She also says, I'm passionate about creating partnerships which benefit the community. Collaboration can take a great idea and make it exceptional. Thank you, Karen Cotton, for your long service. Frank Blaine of Pro Video Productions lives his dedication to sustaining the environment. Frank Blaine has a long history of supporting the Clean Water Celebration. He has worked almost every CWC since our earliest days. But Frank's most important contributions happened in the past 3 years of the pandemic. We would not have had a virtual event without Frank's tireless efforts. Frank, with Brian Fox Ellis, yours truly, has filmed and edited more than 50 mini documentaries that not only provided a great online resource for teachers during the pandemic, but these videos are all there for students and teachers to use moving forward. He spent countless hours editing, adding graphics, titles, and credits to create professional mini documentaries that are as fun to watch as they are informative and inspiring. Again, you could be up here. You could be getting this award. You've got a year to work on it. We accept the nominations early in the spring and would love to give you one of these awards. Some of the people on that video are actually here today, so real quickly, I want to introduce Debbie Flugel, who coordinates the Making Waves Awards. She works for Trees Forever, which has planted millions of trees to clean water. Let's hear it for Debbie Flugel.
Good morning, everyone. I just want to recognize a few of our Making Waves Award winners who are here. So as they're walking out, you saw the video. All of these folks are doing wonderful things for our environment and clean water. So first of all, Karen Zuckerman. This was actually a surprise. She did not know about this morning. And as the video mentioned, we couldn't do this without her. Accepting on behalf of Luke Haberhals with Natural Fiber Welding is our keynote speaker, Aaron Amstutz. There you go, thank you. Then we have the Illinois State University Office of Sustainability, Elizabeth Reed and Christine Bruckner. Thank you. And accepting on behalf of the Bradley University Dining Services is Susan Beckner. I apologize for butchering your name. And then we just want to recognize Frank Blaine, who's in the back of the room. He's been doing this a long time, making sure all of our videos work. So if you could give Frank a big round of applause as well. And we hope next year that we will see some of you up here on stage. Thank you very much.
Thank you to everybody who won an award. Thank you all. And turn around and give a shout out. Say, hey, Frank. And because we really do want you on stage, here's a reward for each of you. A couple of old t-shirts. There you go. So remember, I'm glad that Aaron left this drum here. You are 3 parts. If I had 4 buckets, you are 3. Oh, here they are again, the zero waste team. Please recycle. Make sure your compost goes in the compost, any food scraps. Try not to produce trash. Love the earth, love the water. Let's hear for the Hollis team. Thank you, Hollis. And ending on a high note, we are so thrilled to have the Pontiac High School Route 66 chorus group with Joseph Durbin as their director. So here's a Pontiac High School, Pontiac Township High School, Route 66 choral group.
Wandered around and finally found
see. I'd never be mean, I'd never be cross or try to be boss, but they wouldn't do. For nobody else gave me a thrill. With all your faults, I love you still. It had to be you, wonderful you, had to be you. You made me love you. I didn't want to do it, I didn't want to do it. I want some love that's true. Yes, I do, dear, I do, you know I do. Give me what I cried for. You know you got the brand of kisses that I die for. You know you made me love you. It had to be you. You know you made me love you. It had to be you. You know you made me love you. How high the moon? How high the moon? How high the moon? How high? Somewhere there's music. How faint the tune. Somewhere there's heaven. How high the moon? There is no moon above when love is far away too. Till it comes true that you love me as I love you. Somewhere there's music, it's where you are. Somewhere there's heaven, how near, how far. The darkest night would shine if you would come to me soon. Until you will have still my heart. How high the moon? How high the moon? Ba-da-da-da-da. Till it comes true that you love me as I love you. Somewhere there's music. Somewhere it's where you are. Somewhere there's heaven. Somewhere how near, how far. The darkest night would shine if you would come to me soon. Until you will have still my heart. How high the moon? How high the moon? How high the moon? How high the moon? How high? How high the moon? The moon. There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone, and some remain. All these places had their moments with lovers and friends. I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living in my lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more, though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. In my life, I love you more. If you ever plan to motor west, travel my way, take the highway, that's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66. It winds from Chicago to LA. More than 2,000 miles all the way. Get your kicks on Route 66. Where you can go through St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, and Oklahoma City is mighty pretty. You'll see Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona. Don't forget Winona, Kingman, Barstow, San Bernardino. Won't you get hip to this timely tip? When you make that California trip, get your kicks on Route 66. Get your kicks. Making my way across the prairie. Get your kicks. Down to New Mexico. I gotta make to Ferrari. I got a long way to go. My lungs waiting up to meet me, so I'm moving, I'm cruising on down the road, making my way across the prairie, down to New Mexico. I gotta make to Ferrari. I got a long way to go. My lungs waiting up to meet me, so I'm moving, I'm cruising on down the road. You can go through St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, and Oklahoma City is mighty pretty. You'll see Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona. Don't forget Winona, Kingman, Barstow, San Bernardino. Won't you get it to this timely tip? When you make that California trip, get your kicks on Route 66. 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 Oh, yeah.
Let's hear it again for the Route 66 Choir from Pontiac Township High School. And Joseph Durbin, their director, thank you. And their wonderful accompanists, thank you. Again, you could be up here as part of our musical entertainment, but I'd rather you're up here winning a Making Waves Award. I'm really glad Aaron left this drum You are 4 buckets, 3 buckets of water to 1 bucket of skin and bones. Oh, one last time, let's hear for the Hollis Zero Waste team. And do make sure you recycle, no trash. Actually, when you pack your lunch, you can determine what things are recyclable and eliminate the trash by what you buy. And Hollis, you have something to say? And I have one last gift. Woo! Woo! Thank you all for coming out. Have a great time. You can be the difference. You can clean up water, fall in love with the natural beauty, and you can renew the planet. Do not stand up to your advisor, teacher, whoever tells you to, but file out. Have a great day, and we'll see some of you again next year. Thank you. On behalf of all of our sponsors and Peoria Civic Center staff, we're grateful. Thank you.